Hi dears, welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's me Anna with you here, and today we are at home because the polar air mass is making its deal. It's working very hard in our region and it's extremely cold. There is a huge strong wind right now outside, so this is why we are cozy here with this autumn pre-winter atmosphere, and we're here today to discuss the latest news update and the situation, what's going on in Spain in the last few days, and how we are actually living here with the recent situation getting slightly worse. Let's start with this data. In the last 24 hours we've had 3,093 new cases, which basically means that the situation is slowly getting worse. I would not even say that it's worse because the amount of people in the hospitals is not rising as much. So we would just simply say that there are slightly more cases, and that's basically it. Almost all of them, the vast majority, is without any kind of symptoms, like barely any symptoms at all, or just like cold symptoms, nothing more than that. So it's a good sign as well, which means that the vaccination is working at least a little bit. The index of people getting sick here in Spain is already of 53, almost 54 cases per every 100,000. It's not a lot comparing with other countries, but we are out of the low risk. We are in a medium risk right now here in Spain. It does not mean that there will be any kind of restrictions apart from like the few ones that we have left. No, it just means that there are slightly more people that are getting sick. It's normal because it's getting colder. People get inside, they reunite inside of the buildings, which is also a logical thing to do. And it will be just happening. It's just a normal thing that will keep happening like during all this winter. So we kind of think that cases will keep increasing at least up until the fiestas and holidays will be over, but it is what it is. Our government has said that no new restrictions are planning to be imposed, like to be put in place, because they know that we need to continue with the improvement of our economic situation, especially in the regions that had like the worst pandemics ever. Like here, when the tourism was closed, people lost their jobs. Like it was a very difficult situation. You know it, those of you who are with me here on the channel for a long time already. So yeah, no new restrictions so far, and I will not be surprised if they will put on some restrictions starting from mid-January towards February. Then they will take them out before Easter. Then after Easter, for some time, they'll put some on again, and then we'll have no restrictions starting from summer. This is what they've been doing the past almost few years, so it might be the option for them this year as well. But we will see. It's still a long time to go until then. Also, in between the countries that are in a green list, you know that these are the countries that are allowed to travel to Spain as tourists. These are countries that are not in the European Union or Schengen area, and which is why normally tourists are not allowed to travel unless they have like a very specific reason. But the small amount of countries that are in a green list that are considered secure can do so. And in between these, there is right now Australia. Obviously, they have a low amount of cases because they were quarantining for a long time. They were locked down, basically. There's Canada, there's China, United Arabian Emirates. Between others, there are also countries from South America, like Argentina, Colombia, Peru, places like this. And Russia is still not on the list, obviously, because of the amount of cases that they have. It's just impossible. Like Ukraine was on the list a long time ago, but they took it out because the amount of cases started to increase. Like there are, I would even say, less than 20 countries right now that are on a safe list to travel. This list has been updated every 2 weeks, and countries are being eliminated or added depending on the situation. In general, what European Union says, and like World Health Organization, what they are saying is that Europe is the only area in the world that has been increasing slowly, the amount of cases in the last 5 weeks. All the rest of the areas like North Africa, South Africa, Australia, like North America, South America, places like this, because all the rest of the areas of the world, of the like North America, South America, Africa, like Asia, Australia, all these areas, they've not had such a big increase during 5 weeks in a row as Europe has. But we will just need to wait and see what will be happening in the next few months. The next news about Spain is the new law that will probably be here. I don't think it's going to be the end of this year. It's probably going to be for next year, 2022, which is anti-tobacco law. This is something that our government has been working a lot. It's a new law that will be way more, I would call it, harsh on people who smoke. Any kind of like tobacco products. It might be chewing tobacco, I think exists. It might be like electronic cigarettes, like e-cigarettes and stuff like that, apart from normal ones. Like all kind of things will be affected by this law, and it's also supported by the Society of Pneumologists and like thoracic like surgery specialists, doctors here, like surgeons. Because they're the ones who suffer the most. They're the ones who take care of the patients that have later on like lung problems and heart diseases and things like this. So they work all together, and they are kind of thinking of a new measures and new restrictions to put in place for the people who smoke. There are a few of them already known more or less before it's been approved even. First of them is obviously to higher up the prices. Right now in Spain, the tobacco does not cost as much, like the cigarettes in general. They do not cost as much as in other European Union countries. I know there are some countries in the north part, towards north, well, it's extremely expensive, for example, which is why people come here, they buy like boxes and boxes, and then they try to bring them to their country. But there are also other countries here that have way cheaper like products of tobacco, like cigarettes and stuff like this, than Spain does. So we are somewhere like in the middle, I would say, in terms of prices. So they want to hire them up as in some north countries, so that people would not want to spend that much money on it. So they think that due to this case, they will just quit smoking, you know. The other thing is to forbid for people to smoke not only on the inside of different buildings and areas, like public areas. We like here people cannot smoke inside of the bar, inside of the restaurant, inside of the hotel, like all these type of areas, closed areas. But they could smoke in terrace, like on the terrace, in the bars, cafeterias, and etc., in the park, like everywhere outside on the open air. So they want to change this as well. What they said is they will forbid to smoke not only outside on the terraces, on the open air places, on the beach areas, inside of parks, playgrounds, which is obvious because there are children, different squares, and also on the stadiums, like during the sports events. So basically forbid everywhere apart from the street. That's basically it, and at your own place, like, you know. They want to go very, very harsh on this. Apart from that, they want to forbid companies to put brandings on the boxes, like on the packaging of cigarettes and tobacco products. What they want to avoid is for it to be like appealing, you know, for a person. They want to put like not very nice pictures. They've been putting them already, very, very hard images sometimes. And then they also want to forbid putting like colors, like make packaging colorful, like with different brands of all the companies that provide this type of products to the market, and make like them just like plain without nothing, and just saying cigarettes or just saying tobacco and putting like a very ugly picture on it. This is basically what they want to do. I know that normally the companies that use their own, like they produce their own products with their branding line, and the name and the logo, probably they will say no way we're doing this. But we'll see where this law will lead us to. Also, they want the social security to be covering the treatment for the people who want to quit smoking. Before, it was not the case. These people, they could only like get they could buy by themselves like specific things in the pharmacy, like chewing gums for people who want to quit smoking. They could go to a psychologist, but it was not covered by social security because it's not something essential, you know, it's like an extra, like luxury considered. Which is strange because it's like people who want to quit smoking, it's like it's addictive, you know, it's something that people need help for, so it should be considered like a disease or like some help, like even psychological help that people might need. But it wasn't up until now, which probably will be the case. Here in Spain in general, a lot of people don't smoke already. It's something that's been happening for the recent few years. People just go more towards the healthy lifestyle. They go towards like eco bio products, more like walking, running, doing sports, tennis, bicycle, hiking, swimming, like even just a gym or something like that. Like people are heading towards that direction. There's less and less people who are smoking, which is good for us non-smokers as well, because when we go to the beach, for example, it's very unpleasant and uncomfortable when we are just enjoying our time and there's the wind bringing us the smoke of a cigarette. So I mean, but that's just our opinion of people who don't smoke. People who do smoke, I get it. Like, I mean, each person does what he wants with his or her life. It's normal. But just here in Spain, it's not as popular anymore as it was years ago. So maybe this law will be a good option for our country. The last news that I wanted to share with you all is something that is happening at the airport of Alicante. Each month they are taking out some statistics where they say how the things were going on, how many people came with the flights, what's going on with the airline companies, if they will maintain the same amount of flights or if they'll put some more or put less flights as well. As you know, the biggest news not long time ago was that people can accompany their friends and relatives to and from the airport, which means that if you are arriving to Alicante and if you have someone that is taking you at the airport, that is welcoming you at the airport, that person can go up until the arrivals. So before that, that person needed to stay or at the parking or like outside at the airport. They were not allowed to get in. Or for example, if you are departing from Alicante, like back to UK or to any other country, the person that stays here and is going with you towards the airport can go with you up until the departure, like up until the security point, which we could not do for more than a year already, which is great news. Apart from that, they say that November, which is considered already like towards lower season of traveling, is going very, very high. Like these few days, like 6 days already, are extremely high, almost like in summer season. The airport is just full of people, a lot of passengers. All the shops are opening up, like all the car rentals, the cafeterias, the shop and parapharmacy, the boutique, the duty free, like everything is open back again, which is just a great news, because I know that these shops were struggling a lot. Because they needed to pay their rent, and the airport, even like the AENA, which is airport like association, what they did say is that either you're opening up with the situation that we have, or you'll pay a double of rent as a like to penalize you that you did not open when you needed to. Can you imagine that? So a lot of them opened up, but gladly the tourism is still here. It's not decreasing as much as we were expecting it to do. So it's amazing news for all this area. By the way, what they've said is we will have 4 more flights, direct flights to our Alicante airport. In total, 96 of them, direct ones, from 25 different countries from all over the world. And in total, in a month, it's expected to have approximately 149 flights coming towards Alicante, which is great news. in general, what they say is that a lot of British people are still coming. I've seen it also on the flights. I've asked people who work at the Alicante Airport, and they've said that it's true. Like a lot of people from UK are still coming. Like it would be summer or like the end of summer. And what they say basically is that, and I also think it like this, let me know if it's true or not, or if there's any other kind of reason. What we think here in Spain and what people say is that obviously since UK had restrictions, that you've had like PCR testing, a lot of PCRs, if you remember, to be able to come here to Spain and go back to your country. There was a quarantine, so a lot of people could not come spring and like the early beginning of summer when they wanted to. So right now, when the weather was still okay to come, they've decided just to take a plane and go, because hotels are not as expensive as they were, because the season is lower. The flights are also not expensive as in summer season. So why not, if you can, if it's like affordable and available for you, people are traveling right now and enjoying their holidays, so long waited holidays here in Spain. Which is great for us. It's great for the airport. It's great for the car rental companies. It's great for the hotels, in general, for the recovery of the economy here in our region. So let's hope the situation will maintain like this, because it's sad, but the project that we usually have here in winter, which is for elderly, like pensionists, already for retired people, will not be beginning up until 2022. We don't know the date just yet. Usually these are the people who are traveling to Benidorm during winter, and these are the ones who are saving somehow a lot of the hotels of Benidorm from closing for winter, which a lot of them still do, I must say. So this year is not going to be the case due to bureaucracy that Spain has. It's like a giant amount of paperwork. The ministry and the government has not signed the papers just yet, which is why they cannot come. But at least we have our usual lovely tourism here in the area to help our economy and to maintain the hotels and their workers with their job positions. This is basically what's going on here as for the day of today, Saturday. What about the Spanish weather? Well, this is the cold air mass that's coming from the north of like North Europe. It's going down, and right now it's situating exactly here, like on the north part of Spain and on the like border of Mediterranean area, which is why we have a huge cold and strong wind. We even had some snow on the north parts of Spain, as you know it already. First snow of this year, which is great. Let's hope that this year snow will come closer to our area and we'll be able to go there and spend some nice quality time in a true winter that we don't usually have here in our area. And the rest of Spain will be, as you can see on this map, there might be some cloud and some rain on the north part due to some storms and this cold front that is coming here. Actually, this type of weather is because our Mediterranean Sea is still very, very warm, but the air mass is extremely cold. So when they gather together, when they reunite like this, storms are coming, a lot of waves, are like high waves up until 3-4 meters are coming. So this is the result. But this is not going to be happening for a long time. Tomorrow is going to be more or less the same, but then the weather will stabilize itself and it's not going to be as windy and as cold as it was. Temperatures will rise up slightly more than during these days. And talking about the temperatures, on the north part of Spain today, the maximum temperatures will be between 0, that's the maximum temperature, between 0 and 15 degrees. In the center, between 3 and 12, south part between 12 and 18, which is also not a lot, and Mediterranean area between 14 and 20 degrees. Here and Murcia, which are two areas where it's going to be the warmest, around 20-21 degrees. The rest of the country, as you could have heard, it's going to be, and as you could have seen, will be colder than in here. In Alicante will be 20, here in Benidorm approximately 19-20 degrees as well, Barcelona 20, Granada 17, Sevilla the same, Malaga 18 degrees, Madrid 13 degrees only, Murcia 21, Balearic Islands 16, And Canarian, as usual, 24 degrees. There you'll always have like very, very nice temperatures even during the whole winter. And in Valencia, we'll have also around 19 degrees. Tomorrow, temperatures will be more or less the same, but starting from Monday, we will have a slight increase, at least on the north part. It's going to be already like 18 degrees, no zero anymore. And Mediterranean area will also have around 23, 24 degrees, which will be great after all this cold that we are receiving right now from the North Europe. These are all the news for today. I hope you enjoyed watching them. I wish you an amazing weekend, and let me know how the things are back where you are, if it's also the same polar cold that came to your area, or if you have slightly better and nicer weather than we have here as for the day of today. And I'll see you already on Monday with the new fresh news update, and tomorrow there's going to be a new vlog on our Young Lady Vlogs channel from our family life in Spain and our lovely Benidorm. I'll see you then. Bye.